Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the How to Choose Happiness and Freedom Show. I'm your host, Lauren Foster, happiness teacher, founder of Be Happy First, and author of Happy and Free on Purpose, Daily Practices to Live and Love Your Life. And as always, I want to remind you that if you get on our mailing list, sign up for our newsletter, every month we are doing a drawing for everyone that signed up that month to win a free autographed copy of the book and a free 30-minute coaching session with me. That will be fun and awesome and amazing and great. So just go to laurengfoster.com/newsletter or anywhere all over the site. There are free videos. There are free meditations. There's a study guide that goes with the book. Any way that you wind up on our mailing list, we'll put you in the drawing for the book and the free session. So be sure to do that. And once you read it, go to Amazon.com and write me an awesome review, because that is the way that we help to magnify this message and get it in front of more women so that they too can be happy and free on purpose. All right, so on to today's show. I am really happy and thrilled to welcome my new friend, Lisa Drennon. She is an energetic mindset mentor. Welcome, Lisa.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thrilled. So I was on Lisa's show recently, and there's been just a flurry of all of us back and forth talking to each other and being on each other's shows. And so I'm really happy about all of the new connections that I'm making and happy to be connected with you. So tell us who you are and how you arrived at this beautiful place in your life as an energetic mindset mentor, which we're going to learn more about that too.
Yes. Well, it started way back when I was 16. I was not always happy and joy-filled. Sought it continuously and just couldn't grasp it until 2013. So I made some choices as a teenager. I got involved with a boy and ended up pregnant 3 times before my 17th birthday. Was coerced into having 2 abortions, which impacted me emotionally, but I wasn't aware of it because at that age you're developing your emotions. And I was very docile, and people pleasing was my trait. So I was hiding behind all the shame and guilt, which resulted in anger. So I learned later that anger is depression turned outward. I wore black all the time. I was nasty and angry and frustrated, and I wanted people to like me, so I volunteered for everything. And then one day in 2013, I locked myself in the bathroom and I cried out to God and I said, enough. I've had enough. I can't go on like this.
Okay, wait. How old were you in 2013?
Good question. I'm 53 now. So I was born in 67. I don't do math in my head. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
So I was 36.
Okay. So for 20 years, you've lived with this blame and shame and anger and depression and all those things. Is that right?
I was 46 in 2013.
Okay, so between 16 and 46, that's 30 years of
over 3 decades.
Okay.
Of misery and searching and seeking. How can I be joy-filled? And I remember connecting with one of my friends, and she had told me, I have joy in my heart that no one can take away regardless of what happens. And I thought, I want that joy. Like, where does this joy come from? And, I've always, I was saved in 1979 and I knew the Lord, but I didn't know the Lord because I didn't trust him. And because I didn't trust him, I had this love-hate relationship. And I was raised to believe that I needed to be perpetually punished for what I did. There was no forgiveness for me. So my thought process was that, like, I'm no good, I'm ashamed, I'm fearful. If people ever knew what I did, they would just think I was horrible, horrible person. And I believed those lies. And then in 2013, I came across a challenge. I love challenges. They spark my energy.
Right.
And it was it was a gratitude journal, but it was different than others that I had come across. It was to write down 10 things that you're thankful for a day and the reason why. And it was from Ann Boleskamp's book, 1000 Gifts, Dare to Live Life Differently. And you were to write up until you got to 1000 gifts. Well, I never stopped. It just changed my heart so much. And I really started appreciating people and things and nature I'm from upstate New York. It snows here a lot. Don't like the snow. I appreciated snow. I remember one day I was walking my pups and it was freezing cold. You had to bundle all up. I walked outside. It snowed. Like the snow was, I'm 5 feet tall. It was up to my knees. And we had to walk down the middle of the road because the sidewalks weren't plowed. And the streetlights were still on. And I remember thinking about what I was going to write that morning in my gratitude journal. And all of a sudden I looked at the snow and the light was shining down and it was glistening like diamonds. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And it brought such joy to me. And I looked and I thought, wait a minute, I like snow. Like what just happened? And that was really like one of the major pivot points of me getting over this anger. So when I wrote that morning in my journal, I thought, okay, what else can I look for that's going to really help bring me joy? And I just started noticing nature and people, and like, instead of looking for the negative, just looking for the positive, looking for their attributes. And I really started to see things differently. And it just, what my brick wall that I had around me just started crumbling. And I started seeing hope. And from there, and every year I got something new to add to help me be more joy-filled. So the next thing I got in 2014 was focus on one word. What's the one word that you would want that would truly bring you joy and happiness? And when I sat and I thought about it, I'm like, peace. There's so much chaos around me. If I could just find peace in all of this chaos, because, you know, things are still going to happen. You know, things are, you know, your house, their household mishaps, flat tires, you know, you're going to oversleep, all that's still going to happen. But how do you find the joy in that? So I started focusing on peace, and that was an incredible transformation year for me in 2014, because I had, I think more things happened that caused chaos, so I can see the peace in front of it. And
have the contrast. So, all right. So tell us some of the ways in which you, the practical, how did you focus on peace? Like writing it down, like putting it.
Yeah. So I made a poster. I made a poster of the word peace. I looked up the originality of the word, what the root meaning was. And then I sought everywhere I went, like peace, like, okay, what's going to bring you peace? Is it the feeling, or is it an agreement? How do you want to apply it when you're in a conflict? So I had teenagers at that time, and my youngest was very rebellious. I call him my fun child. And at the time, he wanted to do things that I was like, no, you're too young, you can't do it. And he would, you know, we would get into conflict about it. So I would just say, okay, peace. How am I going to make peace with him about this to help him understand and how to come to terms? So we would talk through it, and I would just stay calm, and I'd be like, okay, what's the end objective? I want peace. How do I get peace out of this conflict of him insisting on getting his own way? I told him he should have been either a detective or a lawyer, because he was very persistent on his agenda. Right. And it was amazing, because I kept telling myself, you want peace. How do you get peace? And I would go, I call it 7 layers deep. I would ask the W questions: who, what, where, when, why, how. And as I was talking and I negotiating with my teenager at that time, I was like, okay, what does he want? Why is this a problem? And just keep asking it until I resolved it. And then it was, instead of like before that, it was screaming, yelling, it would end, you know, storming, slamming doors, running out of the house. And now it was like, oh, okay, totally get where you're coming from. Here's a compromise. Like, wow. And the more I did it, the more, you know, and of course he tested me. And I remember one time he got really upset with me, and I just stood there and kept doing what I was doing. And he ended up, I go, maybe you should go for a walk or a run to help you get past your anger. So he came, but he came back 30 minutes. He goes, how did you do that? I go, how did I do what? He goes, how did you stay so calm and have such peace upon you when I was so angry? I go, I just prayed and talked myself through this 7-layer deep peace thing. He goes, wow. He goes, I'm using that. So fantastic. So he does. He uses it. All my kids use it. So it's really cool. They're all adults now.
That's an awesome lesson for a teenager to learn. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So focusing on peace, I apologize. I didn't mean to get you off track. What came next?
So after the one word journey, I went through this process called a healing journey. I did not know what feelings were, and I couldn't identify like sadness from happiness. I was so used to being angry that even if something good happened, I would respond in anger. So I had to learn what feelings were and how to process it. And I realized that captivating my thoughts was key, and understand that my thoughts became feelings and my feelings became actions, and those resulted in the outcome. And what kind of an outcome was I wanting to do? And being a I was a mentor trainer at my job. I was doing really super well at my job. We had a lot of soft skills training, and I had a lot of interactions with different personalities. And my boss had said to me, he goes, you are looked upon as a leader in this industry. These new people coming in are looking to you for guidance. You're setting an example. You want to make sure you set a good example. He goes, there's lots of things that are frustrating that we're doing and don't make sense. He goes, but you have to utilize your skills and make sense out of it and deliver it so that people aren't focusing on the negative, they're focusing on the positive. So whatever you need to do that, you do it. I was like, okay, you want me to be positive? And I was like, what does that mean to be positive? And that, in my industry, it's like looking at something regardless of the challenges. You don't see it as a problem. You see it as what's the resolution. And that totally changed my thought process on how I was going to process things and get a solution that was going to help people move forward, instead of, we tend to focus on the negative, just human nature.
Human nature. Yeah. But what industry?
So I'm a trainer I work for Social Security Administration, and I'm a coach mentor at work. So I train people on how to apply our policies, which goes right perfectly in with my side gig as a coach mentor, helping women, Christian female entrepreneurs with their mindset, and just looking at things and knowing like you need a rock solid foundation, and you need to know the strategies in place. It all starts with our mindset. So they say, 85% of what we do is mindset. I disagree. I say it's 100%. And, 95% of what we do is in our subconscious. So when my boss gave me this challenge, I'm a red-green personality, if you do the color personality wheel. So I researched it, and I started taking classes, and I started studying the brain and how it works and what it was all about, and realized that I can change the way I think about something just by changing my thought process. And my favorite thing to say is, if thoughts were a person and came knocking on your door, would you let them in? And just really listening to people and saying, okay, what is it that you're saying, and why are you responding this way? Like, what triggers you? And a lot of it comes from our subconscious, things that we believed and things that we were taught. We automatically have this response. And it's like, no, you can change that just by your thought process. So that journey was really incredible, because it led me to a healing journey class, which was a 29-week class that's created by Cindy Sherwood. And it takes you through your beliefs, your false beliefs. It's based on the story of Joseph and dysfunctional family. And you heal from these past hurts that you believe. Like I convinced myself that I was no good because I chose to have 2 abortions. I chose to have premarital sex. I chose to, get involved with this person that was, not a good influence on me. And when I chose to get away from that person, I still let that person influence me in those circumstances. So to choose joy over that, it was hard for me to find the joy, because all I saw was this ugliness. And deep down inside, my inner child wanted to be loved, and wanted to be happy, and wanted to be joy-filled, and wanted to be accepted, but didn't think she was deserving of it. So one of the things that I learned in my quest was that when you speak words, you're able to process them and grieve and move forward into healing, into being joy-filled. So the very first time I shared my story, I was petrified, scared to death, but I knew I had to do it for my inner child. And I studied to become a certified Aroma freedom practitioner, which uses oils to help release. It's like an emotional process where you go through 12 steps and you breathe into old memories and you process them through feelings and identifying them. The first time I did it, I released this burden that I had had for 20 years. And I was like, what just happened? And I thought, I have to learn how to do this. I want to. And so every morning I do this aroma freedom practice, and I've released so much. I incorporated, I'm not going to be able to say this, the Hawaiian reconciliation, Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And that, telling myself that in these different situations, taking each event helped me release the pain, and joy came through, happiness. And then I came to full terms with it by realizing where I was at through, I'm a certified Oola life coach, and we have a framework of 7 key areas. Applying these 7 key areas, going through my blockers such as fear, shame, and guilt, self-sabotage, and realizing that once I spoke them out loud and acknowledged it and realized that I am a good person and I am loved and I am worthy, that's what brought me joy. And my whole entire brick wall came crumbling down. Literally in the last year, I had more healing in the last year with those modalities, the aroma freedom, the Oola framework, the one word focus, the gratitude journal, than I had in all the 30 plus years that I had gone for counseling and read books about anger and frustration and how to find joy and how to establish healthy boundaries. And what this modality, just implementing it, knowing my inner self, is what brought healing and eventually brought joy. And now, regardless of what I do, whatever comes my way, if I'm attacked verbally or, somebody's having a bad day, like, sometimes you walk into a room and the energy is really negative, I'm joy filled. I'm like, I'm happy regardless of what you are saying or doing. And I will process anything that you put at me. But at the end, you can't steal my joy. My joy is inner. It's a well that's inside of me that bubbles over, and you can't steal my joy.
That is the absolute core of the message that we teach here at Be Happy First. And I'm so happy that there are other people out there, lots of us, that are sending this message and teaching this. Nobody can steal your happiness without your permission.
That's right.
Yeah. Awesome. Really, really awesome. Okay. So, but if you're, wherever you're watching this, if you just look below, we're going to make sure that we have links to let you go and learn more about Lisa and about all of the modalities that she's mentioned. We'll give you lots and lots of places to go for more information and to learn more and to connect with her. What else do you want to add before we wrap things up for today? Bring us to the present. How did you decide to be an actual teacher of?
Well, I'm an evolving story. I got into, after I became a certified aroma freedom practitioner and a certified Oola life coach, I realized that I can help people by mentoring and coaching them through what I was so stuck in for all these years. But I didn't readily admit it because I had imposter syndrome, and I didn't think I was good enough to do that. And not realizing that, to me, the word coach meant soccer coach, football coach. And when I realized that I'd already been doing it for so many years at my job and I can incorporate it as, a business, I thought, oh, but most importantly, I realized after, I was a certified aroma freedom coach, using that exclusively, working one-to-one, working with groups with women, going through, I would take women through these sessions. And I heard the same thing over and over again. Like, I know my thoughts I'm always angry. I'm always feeling overwhelmed. And I thought, well, okay, well, why? And then I realized I kept interacting with entrepreneurs, and I thought, they believe these lies. Like, how can I help them unbelieve these lies? So I started interviewing and doing different programs, and I had 3 signature programs, and I loved them all. 2 signature programs. I'm on my 3rd one now. I rebranded at the end of May, realizing that in order to build a strong foundation, it's all about mindset. You need to captivate those thoughts. So I introduced SOAR, Seeking Our Authentic Route to Our Highest Potential, which focuses on building a very strong foundation of mindset work. Everything we do, again, is, I believe, 100% in how we're going to perceive, how we're going to succeed. And when you have that foundation and you have a specific strategy in place, you can soar to your highest potential. But you need to know your why. You need to know what your purpose is, what your gifts and talents are, because we're all created with this desire to help others. And we're afraid of it. And we have so many tools, and we're so fearful of going forward because we don't think people are going to receive it, that we actually give ourselves roadblocks. So I have designed a map exclusively for each client that helps them navigate, get sort of all the road hazards, helps them to stay on that joy-filled path to really and truly know where they're going and how to get there by just focusing on this one thing. So I've implemented my modalities with what I have used myself, and it's customized to them because each of us have different areas of weakness. You know, I struggled with self-sabotage and people pleasing, fear, shame, and guilt. Some people will suffer with imposter syndrome exclusively. So we do this personalized assessment, and then that helps them. And I just keep all the thoughts that they have. There's a unique strategy that I have them practice daily that captivates the thoughts and really helps them process them to the full potential of where they can be, getting rid of that negativity and seeking the joy and the positivity rather than focusing on the negativity and the hurt. And it's really incredible. The program is called Seeking the Kingdom of God, and each letter stands for an acronym, and it's all about being diligently pursuing your purpose in the way that you were designed to pursue your purpose, and not ignoring. A lot of us have false beliefs and we're told lies, and we recognize those lies and we move forward recognizing the truth. Know the truth, seek the truth, apply the truth, and the truth brings joy.
That's awesome. Really, really good. Okay, so tell us, for those who are just listening and not able to read, what is the easiest way to get in touch with you, like website or
Yep. So it's my website's lisadrennon.com, just my name. You can click on there. I wrote a book, Forgiving the Girl Inside, Finding Balance, Freedom, and Fun in Your Life. When you go to lisadrennon.com, you actually get a free ebook, and you can register, and then we can connect with a call. I call it my SOAR call, Seeking Our Authentic Route to Your Highest Potential. It's a 15-minute call. We just chat, see where you're at. We do a quick assessment, and we'll see if it's a good fit for you, if the program is going to work for you. I have a 6-month program and a 12-week program. I adore my 6-month program because I have found with everyone who's gone through my 12-week program, we're like, I want more. I'm not done yet. I just started. So we talk about the 6-month program. And if you truly want joy, the 6-month program is a perfect fit, if we're a perfect fit. Because I tell everyone, just like you're looking for your soulmate clients, you want to find your soulmate mentor, your soulmate coach, because we're not all going to connect with one another. But I also tell people, if we're not a good fit, I love networking. So I always refer people to other coaches and say, hey, this person would be perfect for you. Because I would never, ever want to work with somebody just because, I can take their money. It's not about that. It's truly helping people seek the truth and know who they are so that they can serve 100% in the way that they were created to serve.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. It's lisadrennon.com, and you get a free ebook. You can sign up for a free evaluation session with her. And that sounds all very exciting and awesome. And I'm so grateful that you took the time to be on the show with me today.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Okay, awesome. All right, everybody, we're going to be back next week with another great guest. And you remember that in the meantime, you can always choose to be happy first. I'll talk to you soon. Say goodbye.